Did that for a long time too.
I was gonna say it was, but that is what casual conversations are for. If you can't tell by the title,
Yeah, shout out to the Spotify audience. Go watch it on Spotify, or you can go to Miss Ebony Moonbeam's Twitch. You can also go to my Twitter, 99_Zell May. Tori, don't put this on nothing. He just be chilling. He just
I
here.
was
I
gonna
don't know
say,
why you don't put it on Kick.
It is on.
okay.
It's on my kick too.
I was gonna say it is on Kick,
It's on
but
my
no,
kick too.
because the internet is a fun thing. When you take stuff too serious, fucking it stops being fun. I'm in it for the love of the game.
I'm in it just because I get to say whatever the hell I want to say for the most part. Like
Exactly.
this is easily my favorite show because I just get to be as unhinged as I want to be. But I have learned that because of this show alone, people think I am super problematic. And I'm not. Because of the show. Like I mean
I
what I
may or
say,
may
don't get
not
me wrong, but that don't mean I'm doing everything all the damn time.
look. Like I said, I'm a scumbag, yo. I make sure that everyone, this forthright. And I'll
You know
never
the
pretend to
gimmick.
be anything. As I say, I'll never pretend to be anything else. But that doesn't mean that scumbags can't be nuanced. There's always room for nuance, folks.
Well, there's balance. Like even though you are super problematic on one end of the spectrum, you're also one of the chillest people I know. And so I feel like you get into
Can't take
certain
life
things
too
like,
serious.
yeah, like you're chill. Like I would hang around you all the time if we were in the same city.
I'm just trying not to be the
You're
worst.
easily one of the funniest people I've ever met. Actually, probably the funniest person I've ever met. And I just love your energy. There's never been a time where I got off a show with you and I was like, fuck this nigga. And I do that a lot. There's a lot of motherfuckers that I've been like, fuck this nigga after I get off a show. But I've never done that with you. I've never done that with
I'm
Zelma either.
That's because I'm a people person. What can I say? I always have been. But I'm also a solitary person. I'm equal parts isolation and socialization.
Introverted extrovert.
Always.
That's 100% me too. Let's
That's me
give
too.
let's give the YouTube the intro. I know y'all miss it.
Like the touch of velvet, Afro Kanye's voice, you can't forget. Sultry vibes, making bodies sway. R&B in the spotlight. Come what may. Midnight groove, let the music play. Afro Kanye taking key bombs.
Shout out to Afro Coming, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, all of that. That's YouTube talk. I got used to doing YouTube again.
We need to put that song on Spotify.
We do need to put it on Spotify. Shout out to AI Music. I put the whole album on. We're gonna put the whole album. We got the Ebony Moonbeam song.
We need to redo the Ebony Moonbeam song because it was making it seem like I had tentacles, and I don't like that. Even though if I was in a smut, I would like to have tentacles, but
I was gonna say I have no doubt you're getting your octopus lady bag. I'm not gonna lie.
yo, I'm gonna be Ursula on steroids.
Yo,
Fuck a
like I
voice.
said, shout out to the great James Bond and his good friend Octopussy and Pussy Galore.
Octopussy.
Shout out to this.
That's a woman's name, YouTube, just so you know.
YouTube's been disrespectful to people's name. Shout out to the consistent 8 viewers we had on the first part. Now we got 11 when we got to YouTube. I want to shout y'all out. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
We have more because people are watching it on my Facebook and my Twitch.
Yeah, so shout out to everybody that's watching. Somebody told me this becoming their favorite show, and I'm like, for real? This is just us chilling, just talking about whatever. Half the time we don't even talk about the topics. We're gonna try to talk about the topics today, YouTube.
Yeah, I was gonna say the algorithm.
We're not gonna spend the last 3 minutes on Soldier Boy because it's like, oh, we run out of time. Time to talk about Soldier Boy.
And YouTube's like, you didn't cover. There's nothing in here.
Drop the algorithm down. We're not watching this anymore. You know how they do.
You lied.
But let's talk about the smartest chemical engineer in the world.
Oh yeah, the man himself.
The greatest mind that we have ever seen.
He makes Einstein look like he rode a non-conventional school bus to school.
This is how crazy this interview. I want to give a little backstory to this. Basically, his point is 1 + 1 × 1 = 2, and he wants to make this a thing. Even though
that is his premise.
He will make you turn the calculator sideways and put 1.3 some other. And I'm like, sir, you are making leaps to making 1 = 2, sir. That is 1 is 1, not 1.33, not 1 cubed. 1 × 1.
This is why they kicked him out of Marvel, because he crazy.
My man up here that told us, he said, the man also said he heard, he was aware when he was born in his mama's womb. He remembered, he said, I saw my hand, but I didn't know what it was called. But you did not have.
Wait. Now, I did read something that there are like a small percentage of people that can remember being in the womb. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I've read that before.
Sheldon Cooper, he remembers the womb.
Shout out to Sheldon.
Terrence Howard is not one of those people, trust me. Terrence Howard is not that person. I didn't know what it was called. First off, even the people that do remember, because I did look it up too today when I heard it, because I did look it up, they don't remember thinking. They don't remember thought.
Yeah, I was going to say, you might remember being in the darkness. You might remember hearing the sound.
His hand in the womb and said, what is this called? No, the fuck you didn't.
You didn't even have an inner voice by then, goddammit.
Like, listen, because even I looked it up, some people can remember, like, certain music played or some random thing that happened. You did not remember looking at your hand, sir.
I remember drowning in amniotic fluid.
Shout out to your patriarchal brethren, Tor. He's here.
No, man. Listen, math is math, folks. Play the clip.
Yeah, by the way, if we do rotate the most, if we do just make it really difficult and just change it up, you can make it = 2. You have to just do a lot of shit to make it. Yo, listen.
You gotta make sure you get all the way down PEMDAS once or twice, and then maybe you can make it make sense.
PEMDAS. Shout out to PEMDAS.
Yo, Neil deGrasse Tyson, like, this doesn't make sense, and everybody in the comments like, he's controlled by the government. I'm like, okay.
The internet is a crazy place.
Lie. Neil deGrasse Tyson may or may not be a psyop cyborg. We don't know for sure, but that nigga's smart as hell.
But he ain't finna tell me what.
That nigga's smart as hell.
I'm pretty sure they didn't program him to argue 1 × 1 to make the masses believe it = 1. That is not his program. They just assumed everybody thought that because you wouldn't pass. Your 3rd grade teacher like, sir, you gotta get held back.
This is what No Kid Left Behind does.
They just let everybody pass now.
I was just say, you want to make sure we don't end up with too many more of these kind of liberal thinkers. There's nothing wrong with liberal thinking, but there is a problem with when you're a little too liberal with it. Like,
yeah, don't get crazy.
Yeah, come on.
By the way, I don't mind him actually challenging theories, but don't come up with your own theory and then don't make it make sense. And
yeah, but listen, don't come to Joe Rogan either, though, because Joe's not.
Because it's Joe Rogan.
Yo, Joe Rogan talked 12 minutes in a 3-hour podcast. I have never seen that in my life.
Bruh.
His own show, he did not talk.
You got to think he's the real life podfather, bro.
Shout out to Joe.
Like, for Joe Rogan, he gave niggas the blueprint.
But let's listen to some of this and see if we agree with Terrence Howard. Because I just saw the clips and maybe I gave him unfair judgment. I don't want to be unfair in my judgment.
Let's see, because this is my first time seeing it.
Oh, Lord. I forgot you hadn't seen it.
By now, you have probably seen or heard clips from the Terrence Howard interview on Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, wait, shout out to my guy, D-Star Kid. I want to put his name up there while he's there, so I want to show his name.
Saying things that interested you, intrigued you, confused you, maybe even. I'm an astrophysicist, and perhaps together we can get to the bottom of some of these ideas. Preface that it was a super long podcast. I watched the whole thing because I'm not one to just jump out and start talking out of my ass about anything. Want to know exactly.
We had to go to an astrophysicist on TikTok, of course. You know, they got a bunch of astrophysicists on TikTok.
What I'm talking about, not taking anything out of context. Only going to talk about the things that are directly related to my specialty, physics and astrophysics. Last thing, I took out some of the fluff in the clips and arranged them in a way that I thought made more sense. Don't want it to seem like I'm taking what he's saying out of context. To the best of my ability, the context is intact.
Dr. Russell talked about the fact that the sun gave birth to the earth, that it didn't coalesce from some field.
Here he's talking about planet formation, the way that planets form. And while we don't have the process down to a T, all of the different planet formation models basically start with a star that is contracting in the center, and it has this debris disk, this accretion disk. And in that accretion disk, planets form. So you can see these are all actual images that have been taken with a radio telescope array, ALMA, and you can see that these disks get rings, right? And it's not the rings that are important, it's the gaps in the rings. And our planet formation models talk about planets forming in those gaps. The gap is the planet orbiting around the star and eating up material in the disk. That's going to be gas, that's going to be dust. This is how planets form. And now we're going to hear an alternative theory.
That it didn't coalesce from some field. And the proof of this, do you guys know that the earth is drifting away from the sun?
Yeah, slightly.
It's 0.6 inches a year. Just add up linearly how long it would take the earth to go from the sun to 93 million miles away. It would take 9,820,800,000,000 years for the earth to get here.
So what he's saying here is that instead of planets forming in those accretion disks, like we just saw, that in fact they're coming from the star itself. They're coming from the sun. His evidence is the fact that the earth is moving away at about half an inch per year, which is right. The earth is very, very, very slowly, constantly moving away. Most of that has to do with the fact that the sun is losing mass. It has a solar wind. But as the sun slowly loses little mass, the earth is going to get a little bit further away. Conversely, if the sun were to gain mass, the earth would slowly drift inward. You can understand this with a really simplistic Newtonian view of gravity, or in a general relativistic view of gravity, which is what Einstein gave us.
Just add up linearly how long it would take the earth to go from the sun to 93 million miles away. It would take 9,820,800,000,000 years for the earth to get here.
So now he's saying that at 0.6 inches per year, it would take the earth to go from the sun to where it is now, over 9 trillion years. And the thing there is that the math he did was correct, but there's no evidence that the universe is even 9 trillion years old. All evidence, all observable evidence from the age of the earth, the
Take niggas' calculators away and podcast mics.
Yeah,
age of the moon,
Nigga like, oh, I can calculate these niggas 6 times. How long we
the age of Mars, the age of the asteroids and the asteroid belt, and
Who said you couldn't have smut talk and education in the same?
astrophysics. Smut
Right.
and astrophysics go hand in hand on casual
Hey,
conversation.
you find the right smut, I guarantee you it's out there.
There's definitely some astrophysicist smut out there, no doubt in my mind.
None.
The art of duality.
and the age
I know
of the
there's
sun
some Big
are that
Bang
our entire
fanfic out there.
Shut up.
Hopefully it's got Terrence Howard in it now.
Please, God, no.
Maine.
Please.
He's
Maine.
just all in there- He's just up there whooping
No.
tricks.
If they had the main in it, I would read it just for the hell of it.
That's like Iron Man.
Iron Man.
That's
Shout
what
out
it
to
was
Coke
supposed to
Match
be.
Sundays, Mondays.
Iron Man. Let's learn some more about this business.
solar system is about 4.5 billion years old. You have to deny all of that evidence. You have to just throw it out, pretend that you don't see it, to say that the Earth could be 9 trillion years old. I mean, the universe itself, apparently, by all observable evidence, not even 14 billion years old. You have to throw all of that evidence out. You have to pretend that it doesn't exist to make this work. That's not the fact that the Earth is moving away from the sun is not evidence that it started at the sun 9 trillion years ago. Furthermore, we see where the planets form. They don't form at we see it. We see these observations.
Every solar system is drifting away from their primary at the same exact rate, like 1.5 centimeters. So this is a universal.
Now here he says that all the other star systems that have planets, these are called exoplanets, planets that
I gotta get my dictionary, my encyclopedia bag. I need to trick some niggas and give me some money to learn.
I was gonna say, hey,
And
Get that
TikTok's the
thesaurus
place to
ready.
go because they believe anything on that shit.
Listen, that man's trying to sell Uganda some aircraft that didn't even work. Some drones that didn't even fucking work. He tried to sell them up. Talking about their math was all wrong. Went over there. He got a contract to sell them some shit that didn't work. Shout out to Terrence Howard.
Nasty work.
That nigga's truly that's a Memphis nigga right there, boy. I tell you.
Orbit other stars. That's actually what I study. Have been
He like Terrence Howard is his character from Empire stuff in science.
This nigga is Lucius Lyon forever.
He Lucius Lyon stuff in science right now.
Ridiculous.
He trying to convince people that one time one equal two.
One time,
shown
and we haven't
to
even
be
got
drifting
there
away
yet.
from their stars. It
My man Joseph Vogt, by the way, I did want to show that. He said one time one just rotate the multiplication table, which will make it an addition sign, by the way. I just want some people.
Yeah.
Just in case somebody didn't get there earlier, because I did not bring that up. You know, y'all should be able to tell, but yeah.
half an inch per year.
Hey, you gotta explain things to some people. You know what I'm saying? Some people watch the show.
Nuance is important.
So shout out to Jose Vega.
A categorical lie. A pathological lie. That is absolutely not true. There has never been a single exoplanet ever, not one single time, that has been measured to be drifting away from its star at half an inch per year. It has not happened. We don't even have the technology to make a detection that fine. Just completely untrue. An assertion with no evidence backing it whatsoever. That just is not true.
There's the concepts of Earth 1 and Earth 2, right? So Earth 1 was a planet that was hit by a planet, and that's how our moon was established. When have we seen that happen in nature?
So here he's talking about this giant impact theory, where an early pre-Earth, proto-Earth collides with another small planetesimal, and in that collision, you get the Earth as we know it today, and in the debris, the moon forms on the outside. And this is one theory for how we got such a large moon. And Terrence actually asked a good question. He says, when have we seen that? And it's a good point. We have never observed that, right? That's a theory that describes why it seems like the rocks on the crust of the moon.
Joe Rogan got a crazy theory that turns out. Joe, no.
Are made up of very similar material to the rocks on the crust and the upper mantle of the Earth, and why the moon seems to be low density, as though it were just like fragments of lighter silicate rocks that coalesced around the Earth. And it's a theory that describes that, and we have never seen that. But you know, a lot of times when you think that you know something, you get really good at asking other people, well, what if that's wrong? Like, how do we know that's true? But when have we ever seen a planet come out of a star? When have we ever seen that in nature? We've only ever seen them form at a distance, but let's continue.
Asteroid belt that we have right now, between Mars and Jupiter, that used to be a planet. Just take it, if you add up all of the weight of the mass of those of the asteroids in the asteroid belt, it will probably equal the same mass as that of Mars.
We certainly do have an asteroid belt. It's in between Mars and...
I ain't gonna lie. The way Terrence Howard talk, I can see how dumb niggas get tricked.
I don't know, bruh. I just always think back to him beating up Ludacris in the bathroom because he threw his mixtape in the toilet. Then he went to jail.
And then he went to jail.
So no, there's no way that guy is talking me into believing anything. It is just not happening.
Listen, what kind of conversation is this? Is funny mixed with we got the smart guy to tell us everything we know. You know,
yeah, I was gonna say, shout out to the nigga that knows what he's talking about. Maybe he doesn't know. This nigga could be lying too. He could just be pulling off a really good Terrence Howard impression right now.
Right, where are the facts? Like, give me the stats,
and
the statistics, cite the sources.
I was gonna say we need source links. God damn it!
You telling me the astrophysicist
MLA format and shit
with the degree
No
that
APA. This would actually be APA.
Look at it. Look at the education right there. Black woman education.
Yeah, I was gonna say, shout out to all the educated black women. I'm not your enemy. I apologize.
Yeah, by the way, if you don't know, if y'all want to,
You're an enemy to women in general.
No, I'm a friend to the female species.
He's only a socialist.
Only when they're 2D.
Shout out to all
Not
the
that
people.
laugh, that maniacal laugh. That was a pervy laugh. That was a quagmire. What in the hell was that?
Not the
By the way,
giggity.
Giggity.
if you do want to see what we're talking about, the inside jokes, you have to go to the Spotify, the Twitter, or Ebony Moonbeam's Twitch. You have to go there. So go Ebony_Moonbeam on Twitch. You can go see all the unfiltered craziness, but if they don't take a channel down soon or later.
What if they don't take mine down? You know what? I should check. Well, it let me know that it was still on, so I don't think I've been dinged for anything.
Or you can go to my Twitter, 99_Zelma. And like I said, Tori said he just here for this rad.
If I wasn't doing this, I'd be playing Pokemon with the boys.
You done hatched the egg yet?
I've had so many eggs, it's not even funny.
Every time I hear that.
We're down to the finals. There's only 4 of us left. We started at 10. We've whittled it down.
The duality
You
of
and
casual
these eggs.
conversation. The duality of casual conversation.
Just so I can prove that fighting Pokemon are the best Pokemon.
You got a Machamp?
No. Nigga, we're in Gen 9. Listen, Gen 1 Pokemon are not strong enough. Shout out to all the
You're not, they know the OGs now. We the reason.
No, listen, statistically speaking, okay, we know that the Pokemon company, they got a little iffy on ideas around Gen 5, Gen 6. So they make up with that now by just bringing out stronger and stronger Pokemon.
And shinies.
But shinies have always been there. We just couldn't tell until fucking Game Boy Color times, and then they
and give all the fan favorites
like the Game Boy Color.
A Mega Evolution. Start giving all the Mega Evolution to the older.
Yeah, but Mega Evolutions were almost fucking 15 years ago now. Maybe even more than that, because Mega Evolutions were like Gen 6. We're going into Gen 10.
Well, you know they're gonna keep Blaziken, Mewtwo, and all the favorites, and keep giving them Evolution. And
this is a random question.
They don't change their stats though. Statistically, they're still back there. I mean, legendary Pokemon are always going to have, because they got a base stat value above 600, so fucking they're always going to be good.
This is a random question, but since you mentioned the Game Boy Color, what was your favorite game on the regular Game Boy? Not the very first one, but the black and white one. Like when they were colored, but it was still black and white.
Oh,
like the good old yellow Game Boy, because everybody had that one.
Well, that was the Game Boy Color. That's why they called them colors, though, because they came in different colors. Because
the Game Boy. Okay, so not the
Game Boy was the big gray brick one.
I thought the Game Boy Color was when it was in color.
No,
like
well,
when the screen
that's when they started getting colors, but that wasn't it was a double entendre. Yes, the games were in color because Game Boy Colors when we got gold and silver, but they played heavily on the color in general. That's why the Game Boy Color logo is all the different colors that the original starter Game Boys were.
Okay, on the black and white one, on the Game Boy Color, but black and white.
Bro,
which one?
Tetris.
I love Tetris, but Tetris was up there. But I was a big PC Tetris girly. But yeah, but mine was Mulan. Have you ever played the Mulan game?
Oh Lord!
But have you ever played the Mulan game?
I don't think I have.
Yo, getting down that river was something different. Nah, you need to go. I'm gonna pull that out for you. I'm gonna send that to you because I got it still.
I know which one did it. I had to go look up some games. Battletoads was my favorite. I remember when I was little Battletoads.
Battletoads.
I grew up as an arcade Negro too, though. I can't lie. I played a whole lot.
Yes, I'm a Galaga girl from now till the day I die.
I'm a Dance Dance Revolution Negro. I can't lie.
But see, that's still like new gen in my mind.
No, it's not. No, we can't call 1998 and 1999 new gen.
Dance Dance came out in 99?
Yeah.
I thought it came out in the like mid 2000s.
No, if it was 2000, it was very early. They'll make it.
I feel like I was in high school when Dance Dance came out.
Ain't no fucking.
Y'all remember Battletoads?
Yeah,
I don't remember Battletoads.
You don't know. They used to have a Battletoad arcade machine at the skate.
Actually, yes, I do. I remember it on the arcade, not on the Game Boy.
It was a Game Boy game too. It was a Game Boy game with it. Shout out to Battletoads. That was amazing. I love Battletoads.
They may tell us when DDR came out, the original Dance Dance Revolution.
I'm
All right.
Googling it now.
Okay.
You
Everybody,
already know.
everybody, this is casual conversation, folks. If you ain't used to it by now, you can leave.
My bad, y'all.
Well, it wasn't even your fault, man. We already.
Okay, it
It
said
wasn't.
in Japan it came out in 98, and then it was released in North America and Europe in 99.
I told you.
What?
Like I said, I was a DDR nigga. I remember when I first played DDR. There wasn't no way because I was still younger. I was like starting coming up on. Yeah, I was like going near middle school. I was still in
Yeah,
elementary school when I was first
okay,
started
but
playing
this
this shit.
wasn't. But the original one wasn't like where you actually like stomped on the shit, like where you actually danced it, right?
No, yeah, the original arcade machine, yeah.
Oh man, I really don't remember that. But like I said, I go like real throwback, like Galaga, Centipede, Miss Pac-Man. Like that's what I think about when I'm thinking arcade games.
Play Street
No,
Fighter.
those are the extra old arcade. Yo, Tekken 1,
Tekken 1.
Mortal Kombat, fucking. But like I said, DDR was always my shit.
My first game I would play with that duck hunting game that you shoot the duck when it be on the screen. You get the little gun.
Oregon
Yeah.
Trail. Oregon Trail.
Oh my god.
Greatest game to ever exist.
The amount of families have broken up over Oregon Trail, folks, just so you know.
Still one of the greatest games ever.
My
You want to know
Lord.
what another game that was like my favorite, but it actually taught you shit? My uncle had this PC game called Mavis
Lord.
Beacon's like typing game or something. It was like a typing game. It was a game and it taught you how to type. Called Mavis Beacon. Look into that, people. If you suck at typing, look into that. It's fun.
My mama just found a typewriter at a sale and told me to get on it.
Yo, I love original typewriters.
She's like, here you go, learn how to write.
That and rotary phones. Bring back rotary phones. I want a house phone just for that.
I still got a typewriter.
She gave you a typewriter and you wrote a book. I mean, goddamn, it was prophetic.
She knew what she was doing.
Shout
out to moms.
He was like, this nigga's gonna write a book. Better get him a typewriter.
No, I was writing before that. I wrote a whole like script for Detective. What's the little yellow detective with the little yellow hat?
Shout out to supportive parents.
She just want me to read the encyclopedia so I can have all of it. Shout out to mom though.
Shout out to moms.
Read the encyclopedia out there. She just put a encyclopedia on me like read it.
Yo, that's a nasty word.
Don't miss a word or you're not playing the game.
That's crazy.
Do you still own a thesaurus? Do you still have a thesaurus in your home?
Not here, not in my apartment.
I would say there's a thesaurus around here somewhere.
I have a thesaurus. It is on the bookshelf.
We had a whole stack of books. We had a whole library of encyclopedia with every word start with A, every word start with a B. And mama said, hey, put the book out there, you gotta read through it. I'm like, what?
Reading is fundamental.
Have you guys ever read the book Blood Meridian?
No.
It's a book. It's an amazing book, but I can't think of the author off the top of my head. But it's famous because it's so crazy and graphic that there have been so many people that have tried to acquire the rights to make the movie, but fucking no one wants to make this movie because of how the story is fucking crazy, bro.
I need to find it because now I'm interested.
It's literally and some people say the villain in the story is based off of a real life person, but the story in itself, it's a fucked up story. Like it
sounds like it's right up my alley.
It is dark, but I mean it's just such good storytelling. Like it's literally fucking one of the villain in this. I mean, technically, the whole book is from the point of view of the villains because it's back in the early 1800s when we were still taking Texas fucking from Mexico. So it's very dark to begin with. But the main villain is this fucking albino giant that we know for a fact was a real person. But yeah, he was just a very dark and evil nigga.
Unhinged man.
I couldn't go into his exploits without getting the orange mark because it's dark.
I'm gonna look for it.
And it's fucked up I can't even say that. But the ending is it's so fucked up, but it fits. It's very fucked up and sad, but it fits. It fits the tone of the book perfectly. But it is a dark book. But I that only came to mind because I just got one of my homeboys to read it, and he finished it a couple days ago, and he was like, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to sleep right again.
See, now I really got to read it if it got niggas afraid to sleep.
It's just what makes it so scary is because you know it's real. You know what I mean? There's nothing out of the. I mean, yes, there are some parts that you chalk up to storytelling because who knows? And I'll just say there's a part in the book where
don't spoil it.
I mean, well, I'm gonna just to lay it out. He may or may not have a slave with him somewhere, and he may or may not surprise niggas by walking out naked carrying a cannon.
Oh shit!
But yeah, it's a very dark book. But it's called Blood Meridian. I advise everyone if you have the stomach for it, you should definitely read it.
Tori, we went an hour and 15 minutes without you talking about anything about slavery for the first time in 10 years.
For the first time.
And I had to break the streak. We couldn't go off the air without me mentioning it at least once.
We went through the Spotify cast, which normally where you mentioned it at.
No, but it was very brief. It was very brief, and it's not even a slave in like the sense of it. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the dude's not even black. That's all I was gonna say. No, but this albino nigga's different, yo.
Ask me go. He's talking about white slaves. Get him.
Okay.
I'm actually technically I believe.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Never mind.
You're about to set yourself up.
I was because I was not. But if you read the book, you will see why I had so much to. But it really is. It's a fucking wild ride.
Okay, can we skip to the multiplication shit? Because I need to get to the math part.
Oh, we can. This we gotta go to another video for that. All right. Let's get
oh. Yeah, I want the math shit. Cause I'm not the best in math, but I ain't a dumb nigga neither.
I ain't gonna lie, they lost me after algebra, yo. Trigonometry was a fucking that shit. I had nightmares about that shit during school.
Yo,
I had nightmares about trig. It was bad.
I hate math, especially statistics.
Shout out to the homie that I could pay in illicit substances to do my trigonometry homework for me, though. Shout out to him.
Shout out to just paying people to do stuff like that in general. I had a mean hustle. I used to write papers for people.
Hey.
And it was good, too, because I was one of those people that could, like, write a full, like, 14-page paper in, like, a couple of hours.
The range of substances that I have given to people to do homework or projects or anything, yo, listen, we had a group project, and I made sure that I didn't have to do anything by allegedly supplying people with Adderall.
Allegedly.
I wrote papers. That's the fastest project that ever got done.
Per paper, dog.
Yeah, $40 and sometimes multiple bottles, depending on how. If it was like something simple that I could do in a couple of, like if I could do it like the morning of and still get you an A or a B, then you could just buy me a bottle of Jack and I'd be good.
Yo, but trading alcohol, I don't know how I feel about trading somebody alcohol to do like, okay, Adderall I understood because I'm like, I know how this works, yo. Listen, many a college student has only gotten by the grace of that prescription. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I don't know. Liquor, I would be like, I don't know. What if
liquor fueled me for years.
What if she ties one on before she does my paper and then it's just done though? And I
guarantee you still got an A. I never got anyone lower than a B. And I would ask them too. I'd be like, what is the grade you need on this? And that would determine how much I charge.
She was hustling niggas for real too.
No, it depends on that depends on what I charge you. You just need a C. You need an A.
Sliding pay scale. The sliding pay scale never fails.
You need to know. People be like, is it still 25? What grade you need? I need an A. This is gonna be fit like 30% of my grade. Oh, all right. It ain't 25. Or it could be 25, but you throwing in a bottle and maybe a blunt.
She was out here getting up. See, I don't know. I just all the drugs that I end up supplying people, at least I was like, they'll be able to work thoroughly through this and maybe even do some extra shit later.
Maybe do some extra shit later.
Or like they're gonna be extra focused.
See, I was a functional alcoholic, so
I'm trying to make sure them niggas walk in. They're gonna do their chores after they're done doing this project.
there was nothing I couldn't do on alcohol. Hence how I have a degree.
My roommate was wild. Shout out to him. He used to lie to me
Yo,
every day.
shout out to the mental fortitude it takes to get through college while being an active addiction. Shout out to Moonbeam.
See, Tori, you got to give the degree even more credit now.
Yeah, I mean, because I'll be honest, yo, I don't know. Listen, white dudes, I know. Listen, look, I put on my hazmat. I know white niggas that done fucking. They done let the liquor take them out of that college real quick.
Unless their dad was like a legacy, then they just
yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, then they just toasted.
Nigga on the board, he's gonna cut that check. You know what's going down.
Shout out to my white boy.
Shout out to all them niggas though. That comes from living in a university town though. I feel like if you got like a university in your town, then you're just gonna have that interaction with the college population. We got a nigga on the golf team named Happy Gilmore, yo. That's his legitimate name. This nigga better be the best golfer ever.
He better be.
Listen, shout out to my roommate.
He low-key killed shit from what I heard, but I'm not an avid golf watcher, but I love Adam Stansworth.
Yeah, but shout out to my next door neighbor out here. He was out here, boy. He would get drunk every night. Like, we had the same class. He's like, I ain't worried about no class. He get drunk, come in with a hangover, make an A. But then I found out he got all the answers from the professor. And like, so he just went in the office and like, hey, I need help, and then got the answers from the test sheet, and then wrote it down. And I'm like, and then all of a sudden I got cool with him my senior year. Then all of a sudden I get an email with the answers in.
No, what was always a problem for me is my birthday is always like the first week of school, so it's either like the first day of school or like the day after or some shit like that. And you know, you got to be there like the whole first week so you can get your financial aid. And I was always cutting it close because I never went to school on the first 2 days because I was still celebrating my birthday. That's crazy. I don't know how I got a degree.
Shout out to youth and making unwise decisions that somehow work out. Let's listen to this one, which we probably made better decisions than Terrence Howard.
About our fundamentals are a little bit off. There are no straight lines.
Right.
So I reached out to Neil deGrasse Tyson. I saw him at an event up front.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is disgusting.
And he was like, hey, man, yeah, I'd love for you to come on my show, do my radio, do my TV thing. I would love that. I was like, yeah, but I've got something I want to introduce to you. And it was only...
I ain't gonna lie, whenever a nigga walk up to you and say, I got something to introduce to you, it's gonna be some nasty ass word. Hey, bro, you do that? You still do that music, that podcast? I got something I want to talk to you about. Tori, you done heard that?
Terrence Howard coming up to me. And listen, he better have some hoes with him, or I ain't even gonna hear him out. He better have some hoes. Listen,
it's stuck in his tradition.
That nigga, listen, he's DJ forever. That nigga DJ forever.
It was a treaty.
Let's listen to what Terrence Howard say. So before they say we ain't giving him a good listen, and y'all not giving him the credit.
And
the credit that he deserves.
Told him it was controversial, and I sent him over the 36-page thing that had the wave conjugations in it, but I started it off with 1 × 1 = 2. And he went in on my treatise, redlined everything. He attacked that I had talked about Walter Russell and Victor Schauberger and John Keeley and Tesla as the people that I looked up to. Mm-hmm. He attacked them, but then he started attacking, the 1 × 1 = 2.
How did he attack them?
Oh, he was because I asked him. I said, I said, under what conditions? I said, it's illogical where the square root of a number added to itself will equal more than that number squared. But that's what happens with the square root of 2. That's what happens with most of the numbers. I was like, how is it that multiplication, if it means to make more and increase in number, how is 1 times 1 equaling 1 part of the multiplication table? Now, I understand that if you're seeing it one time,
Right.
but we call that once. But the moment that you had that add the times in there, that multiplicative indicator, that means there's more than 1. So now each...
That is not how that works. By the way, I want everybody to understand.
Multiplicative indicators and whatnot. This nigga.
I love the usage of big words to try and convince people that he knows what the hell he's talking about.
Come on now.
Stop the bullshit.
If I multiply ebony by 1, there's still just 1 ebony.
You could never.
See? There wouldn't be another, goddammit.
It would still be me.
That's what I'm saying. You can't multiply another person by another. Like, it's just 1. Like, it's just 1 ebony, and then there's only 1. Now, if there's an ebony, and then there's another box and another ebony, and if they clone, there's 2 ebony, so there's 2. But no, you cannot 1 times 1. It's what he's saying doesn't make sense. But the
multiplicative indicators, though, man.
But the multiplicative indicators.
But the multiplicative indicators, man.
Balance, that equals.
You're right, Tori. I ain't high enough for this.
Yep.
Right. I'm not.
You gotta get on that level.
It's supposed to show that there's a balance between these 2 numbers over here and a balance on this one over here. What happened to the other one in this equation? It didn't equate. And then I took the square root of that number. I took the square root of 2, because all this started in 3rd grade. I was arguing with my teacher because we're talking about
in 3rd grade.
In 3rd grade?
So you phone?
Yeah, that's my...
Listen, in 3rd grade, arguing with my teacher, and I got this.
No, he was arguing with his teacher about multiplicative indicators in the 3rd grade. What the fuck are we doing here?
Listen, I did argue with my teacher in 3rd grade, but they told me that Christopher Columbus discovered America, and I was like, he met the Indians.
No, Amerigo Vespucci, goddammit.
No, I argued with my 3rd grade teacher, but it was because the hoe had a cotton plant on her desk, even though she had a class full of black students.
Hey, if I was a teacher and had a fucking class full of black students, I would have a cactus.
Tori lying. He would have probably some.
He'd probably have a cotton plant too, low key.
No, I'd have a whole ass cotton gin in there. What are we talking about?
Nigga, I hate you.
But I did argue with my teacher because she told me Christopher Columbus discovered America and then came and talked to the Native Americans. I was like, was the Native Americans already there? Yeah, they said that's what she said. And she said they talked to the Native Americans. So I said, was the Native Americans already there? And she said yes. So how did he discover something when he met people there? Then I was deemed difficult.
Shout out to Amerigo Vespucci though.
What are y'all guys?
The nigga who didn't run the hustle on the Native Americans.
What is y'all guys' stances on his theories? They are make believe, and shout out to Joe.
But the multiplicative indicators.
They're just that theories.
Listen.
But you gotta remember, this is the original War Machine we're talking about, though, yo. Come on. He's not just a pimp or a record executive. He's also a super.
I do.
He did Cookie bad. We all know it.
Like I said, I do like the fact that he challenged theories. I am for that. But sometimes you just got to admit when you're wrong. And
the hill to die. That's a crazy ass hill to die on.
He been pushing.
No, but like you said, I respect him challenging theories, but I feel like he needs to have better sources to back that up. Like just like the guy said in the first video, there's been no proof that shows that the earth has been here that long. So if you don't have any sources to back up your claims, you're just talking out of your ass. And that's another thing that I hate about the internet anyway. People just say anything and then people believe it without actually thinking and saying, let me take a moment to actually figure out if this is true. Like even with basic things like movies, I'm one of those people that like to know how accurate a movie is. So I'm watching something interesting. Oh, best believe I done Googled that shit right after I'm watching. I'm like, is this true? Was this a real person? What was this? Like Norse mythology in the Thor movies or other things. I do not have a position whether he is right or wrong, but I came up with an interesting question that no one seems to answer. Give it to us. I'm interested.
Tor will 100% answer your question.
That's what I said. Give it to us. I'm interested.
Even if he have no clue what he will give an answer. Shout out to the internet. But why are we doing
Shout
this?
out to the internet.
The internet is always there.
Listen, like I said, I'm all for people doing theories, but if I have to leap,
I'm never gonna question somebody being outside of the box, but depending on how far outside you get of it.
He take leaps to justify his answer.
Yeah, it's the jumps that he's making. But it feels way too calculated. It's like he knows he's trying to play niggas.
It's like, oh yeah, let me jump to this step to explain.
And maybe that's just me seeing him as a pimp again. But game recognized game. This nigga
no, but it reminds me of like people that say a bunch of smart words or they over talk you to where they've really only made one point, but they've said it 4 different ways to convince you that they know what they're talking about, knowing good and well they only said one thing and they still haven't given you anything to back up that one claim that they made in the first place. Yep, that's what it's giving, which I hate.
I'm gonna teach somebody I did a lot of public speaking in my life, so let me teach y'all something that my brother taught me when I was in class. I'm in college, junior year. I have my cousin in my class named Randall. Shout out to Randall. We at Southern Miss together. We in a class. Randall did all this studying. I did no studying at all. Shout out to my professors. You watching? You said it was interesting. I had no clue what I was talking about. We had a story about Best Buy versus Circuit City, why Best Buy failed and why Circuit City failed. He stuttered and struggled throughout his speech. He was 100% correct because when I looked at it later, he's 100% correct. She said, "Oh, I gotta research this to make sure it's right." I went out there and just made some shit up, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't know that about Best Buy." I'm like, "Of course you didn't. I just made it up." I didn't say that out loud, but in my mind, I'm like, she's like,
there's a portion of its delivery. Like that's how politicians get away with spewing lies and shit because of their delivery and knowing their target audience. If you say, I can say the sky is purple, but if I give you a definitive reason and explain it and say, oh, it's just based off of our optics and how the sun shines through our eyeballs and blah, 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 I can convince somebody that the sky is purple. Now, obviously that wasn't a good enough example, but I can convince someone of that if I know how to say it. And you know your target audience, so you know how to give what people are looking for. And that's one of the reasons why social media is social media and the internet is the way that it is. Like you can have someone on there, let's say with anime, someone can give you an anime hot take and talk you into questioning what you know to be true.
Goku cannot beat Sun Jin Woo.
You said who?
Goku cannot beat Sun Jin Woo.
All right.
He can't.
I'm not even gonna go there.
Sun Jin Woo is multi. That man create universes.
Hey, there's still half of y'all favorite anime characters can't even beat the Sailor Scouts. So just relax, people.
Yeah, but the Sailor Scouts are women, so their emotions will beat them long before we have to.
You know what, nigga?
I watched Sailor Moon get in competition with her husband, but with her daughter. You think I'm worried about? She's fighting her child. She ain't worried about me. She ain't worried about me.
Let's read the question. It says, "How is it?"
Okay,
I'm ignoring you. We reading the question. How is it that Greeks were able to come up with complex formulas and calculation with no concept of zero in their mathematics? Greeks had the concept of nothing as a word, but did not use it in mathematics. Leave that up there because I'm gonna have to reread that again in my head.
Basically saying they didn't use zero as a starting point, which is
but they had nothing as a word, so they know that nothing does exist.
They know the concept of nothing.
Yeah, it's a concept of nothing, but at the same time, in truth, we don't need to use zero either because 0 times anything is 0. So that technically is a
Yeah, I
pointless.
would say true.
We
0
don't.
times 0 is always
So
0,
we
but
technically don't need to use zero. They just cut out a step of like, yo, we're not even introducing this because it's pointless. Because if you have nothing of nothing, if something don't exist, you can't multiply it. You can't divide it. You can't subtract it. It's nothing.
yeah, I was gonna chalk it up to the fact that they were just freaky as fuck.
I told you, Tori gonna give you an answer regardless.
No, I'm just saying, we know how freaky the Greeks were.
But
We know what was going down. Whole lot of interspecies erotica in them old Greek myths. I just want to say that.
But ancient Egyptians had their own mathematical equations.
You like that, Moonbeam?
You know, I'm always here for interspecies erotica.
Uh-huh.
By the way, the most diverse podcast you have ever seen in your life. I don't even know how we had the most philosophical question ever asked. And
somehow we got the interspecies erotica.
I don't know.
That's commie for you.
I'm just saying.
He started it.
I don't know how we get here, but we got it. But yeah, Egyptians, everybody have their own concept of math and this thing could did. Like always, like you could also say you could have said another word instead of one, but we go with one, and then one is for singular, and then two for two. The concept has always been there. It's just how you use and how you flow it, and that's how math usually go. So it's always weird how you do it, but that has been a concept from a long time ago that people just started making up to make life simpler. Like your whole life is based around math. Most things you do in your life do. If you open up this, if I open up a computer program right now, it's a bunch of numbers and it's going to end up in nothing, but I can make it into something about controlling what the numbers is.
Yep, good old coding.
You know what I'm saying? So
shout out to MySpace for teaching us how to code.
So niggas had to get the right back. Niggas had to have the right background, Joe. And
what with the falling letters?
So you had to get
you wanted the music playing, but you didn't want the music video there.
I was gonna say, nigga had to have the soundtrack to Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift playing whenever someone showed up to us. Oh shit.
No, remember, and then you had to add. You didn't want the top 8s anymore. You wanted like a top 10,
top 12,
top 12. Tom, make Tom great again.
No, that nigga's probably out doing some freaky shit. He made too much money.
I feel like he's doing weird shit, probably.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if he's on drugs.
He's a fan.
Don't sue me, Tom. I don't have no money for you. I still love you. I support you.
Yo, you don't want to deal with that MySpace legal team in 2024.
Do you know how crazy that would be if I got a letter in the mail and it was like MySpace, like, you slandered this man, lawsuit for defamation. I'm like, oh my God.
On the drugs? Really, Tom's just out here living his life.
Wait, what is he saying? What is he saying? So the binary, wait, let me go back.
Binary is just a placeholder.
It says binary represents two values on and off. It does not have to be 0 and 1. It can be represented by any two numbers. On can be 2 and off can be 3. So the binary argument does not work. Let me tell you something. I think I already said this. I'm not a math Negro. I English, history, I got you. Geography, I got you. Math, talk to them niggas, cause I ain't it. I wrote papers.
Don't you sit around here?
I wrote papers, okay?
Them niggas was drinking too much wine and had too many slaves in the gladiatory arena. And
not the slaves again.
Listen, if I actually get in this, it's gonna take me back.
You and your slave king need to chill out.
Listen, this conversation.
Hey, catch me in the overalls with the pitchfork baling hay later.
And the wheat in your mouth. Piece of weed in your mouth.
With a straw hat to boot.
But listen, if I did that, this would be a long Egyptian history coronation that I don't feel like going through. I'm not gonna lie. From China and Egypt.
Don't blame you.
That's all history. But the binary number base
casual conversation
system, but we not finna get on that. I do appreciate the quick though. It's amazing. It's actually a good quick. I do like this conversation, but my mind ain't gonna work that. You can recognize that the binary example does not work. We can argue depending on what mathematical history you need, but
No, we
like I said,
can't.
but but I don't think they know binary state. Maybe we'll
I'm
get
sure
to it.
there.
Let's talk about some other shout to you. I love that question though. For me, I don't think Tori like this question. Like, I'm not a math. My co-hosts do not want me to get into that conversation. So yeah, but shout out to this my guy right here. But Steven Jackson, ex-fiance, responded to receipts after claiming the former NBA player lied about what led to him calling off their wedding. Steven Jackson recently brought up in his infamous 2005 breakup with his ex-fiance, Melissa Amani Showalter, on a relationship podcast, but Showalter is fighting back against the former NBA player allegation, as she says she is ready to tell her side of the story. Jackson made an appearance on a November 15th episode of Relationship Matters podcast. Everybody got a podcast now, where he talked about the relationship he has with his children and his mothers. The former Golden State Warrior player said he has 7 kids with 5 different women, and he told the host that 3 of the relationship went wrong because he was living the wrong life. One of the relationships that was not included with those 3 was his early 2000 relationship with Showalter Jackson, alluded to her as he talked about money problems he had with his children's mothers. Jackson explained which led to a deterioration of his and Showalter's relationship, saying that it came down to an unsigned prenup. The 2 were all set to be getting married, but Jackson said that 2 months before the wedding, he told the Basketball Wives star to sign a prenuptial agreement. Jackson claimed that he would constantly bring up the prenup to Showalter, but he would get attitude back from her. He said he told her, "Look, I'm going to embarrass you in front of all these people. Don't do it." The former player said that on the day of the wedding, his sister, who was one of Showalter's bridesmaids, said that the fiance wasn't going to sign the agreement, so he called off the wedding.
As he should.
One of the hosts, asked Jackson why he thinks Showalter didn't sign. He answered, "I know why. She has motives." This isn't the first time Jackson has brought up his broken engagement with Showalter, as he has talked to call out the wedding multiple times before. In 2020, Jackson went on Instagram Live talking about leaving Showalter at the altar, and his current wife, Tamara Jackson, brought up the incident again early October. So how we feel about this? How you feel about leaving the woman at the altar? Tori?
Hey, if you got that much money, yo, and you don't want to sign the prenup, and then thereby ipso facto you don't feel comfortable enough marrying her, how can I fault you in that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would definitely.
I do appreciate it though.
I can't blame him, yo. Once you got, I speak as the person who doesn't believe the construct of marriage or even really a thing. It's just so that they can get you to pay taxes on fucking getting married. But yeah, if you got basketball player money and your old lady's not comfortable signing a prenup and thereby you don't feel comfortable marrying her, I mean, I get it.
That my issue with this is that when you are about, like, he was already a basketball player when he met her. I don't understand why this wasn't a conversation the minute he started to get serious enough to where he felt like he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. Especially because it was multiple times that I guess he had either called off the relationship or had postponed like them getting married or whatever. So the fact that this came up to where it was such an important thing that needed to happen quickly, like right before like the actual wedding date, I just feel like there's something fishy about that. And she came out and said that he didn't request it like 2 months prior, that he requested it like 2 weeks or whatever, or something like that, and that she has a receipt that's like a correspondent letter that was sent to him and his mom or whatever and stuff like that, not even to her, trying to get him to come in for a meeting with the attorney about the prenup. And so there's something that's missing in this story, and I don't know if it's him just bullshitting, but when you have that kind of money, those are like the conversations that you have in the beginning.
Found something out that made him then decide he needed a prenup. Because
I still feel like regardless if she's a saint, the type of money that he makes, a prenup should have always been an option.
Exactly. I would almost go into it. Listen, if I get into a relationship with some super rich woman, I'm automatically going to think prenup. There's no way I'm not thinking that.
I'm expecting it. If they don't
So I don't
require it, great. But I'm expecting a prenup.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not gonna. And if she has, listen, if it's real love, it shouldn't matter. Although, I mean, then you get into the iffiness of divorces and being destitute afterwards, and it's easier just to love each other without getting the government involved.
Hence why Kami dislikes marriage.
That's a fact.
I don't
Why I
think
need to,
you'll.
why I need to pay for somebody to tell me that I want to spend the rest of my life with somebody? That's crazy.
I just the concept of marriage, it's like beautiful, but I think that people forget that marriage, and it may not have been that way back then, but in this day and age, it is a business contract. That's what it
Yeah.
is. It is a business deal that can go real far left if you're not prepared. There are so many things that tie into marriage when you're legally married. You now have power over the person's health when they go to the hospital, like what's yours is mine type deal. And there's just a lot of little things. And when you have that amount of money, I just I don't understand why this was a conversation that didn't happen sooner. And then the fact that that was enough for you to be like, nah, when you didn't have the conversation in the beginning, or you did and she agreed to it, then like, what are we doing? That
But then on the
somebody
same
is
fact,
lying here.
don't you think she should have expected this?
Definitely. I
Okay,
do believe that she should have expected it.
I was gonna say. So if she really didn't care, and it was all about, then she should have signed the prenup.
Then she should have signed it. And then if that was something that she knew that she was going to be completely against, then that is also something that she should have expressed,
Yeah,
which is why I'm always saying communication is key. You need to have conversations when you first start dealing with someone. Do you want kids? Do you not want kids? Like, do you expect me to sit at home and be a housewife, or do you expect me to still work when you make millions of dollars? Like, this and that. Are you the type of person that's going to tell me what I can and cannot wear? Like all of these things, those things I need to know ahead of time before I even get my feelings too deep involved. Like I tell people, if I'm starting to feel you and I start texting you for longer than a week, I'm already letting you know I'm in recovery or whatever. Like I don't drink. I don't drink because I just choose to. I don't drink because I'm a former alcoholic. Like this is why I believe therapy is important. Have you ever been in therapy? Tell me your trauma, nigga, so I know what I'm about to sign up for. I don't stay in relationships. So that's why I said my relationships, I need to see the problematic side aspects of things. If we are just too happy and ain't nothing going on, I don't know what I'm even setting like signing up for.
see,
Because people
that's why I'm an open book type Negro.
Well,
I
people
mean,
show you who they really are when they're stressed out, when shit hits the fan. That's how you
true.
see how you need to know how your partner deals with stress, how they deal with trauma, how they deal with life throwing you curveballs. And it's not just how they deal with their own shit, but how they're willing to deal with it when you're having shit. Because we're a partner. It's a partnership. So I I think that all of this is a little bit of bullshit. And I feel like they're both not telling the truth, to be honest.
I
I
feel
feel
like
like
he had cold feet, and this was his excuse to
and
leave.
this was his excuse. And he says in that interview or whatever, it came out that there was multiple times that he either postponed the wedding or called off the relationship or whatever. So this isn't a new thing. He wasn't sure if he wanted to spend the rest of her life multiple times. I'm sorry if you postpone our engagement, our wedding, or you tell me that you want to break up and we were about to get married and stuff. You can maybe do it once and you
That's
just
how
like
side
fucked
niggas
up,
sneak in, just so you guys know.
but you do it more than once,
It's when you
then
do
I
it
already
making
know
the
you
nigga
don't
start
really
to.
want to be with me, or you're confused and you're too confused for me because I need you to know 100,000% that you want to spend the rest of your life with me and go on and pull the trigger, pop the question.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie. If I ever get how I deal with stress, I get obsessive over something else. I'm a very upset. Like, listen, if you see me start working all day, that means I'm stressed. I'm finna just go in the office. I'm like, I'm being office. I'm grinding. It's like my way of distraction. It's my way of doing things. That's why probably when I'm happy like I am now, I don't do as many YouTube videos. If I like Trevor, you ain't did many YouTube videos. I'm like, yeah, I am.
I hyperfixate. So like when I'm stressed out, like I knew that I was stressed out and I needed to, get back on my proper meds and shit like that or whatever. When I got like really out of pocket with the smut, because I just went down like a really unhinged road and I didn't chill the fuck out. And I was like, okay, you're masking something here. And it wasn't. And now I'm like slower, like I'm still reading, but it's slower pace than it was because I got to a point where it was almost like an addiction to where the minute I finished one, I had to find another one, or I already had some in place because I didn't know what to do with myself when I didn't have anything to read, and I do that with other things. I have a lot of weird things that I do. Sometimes I completely shut down. Other times I am just the complete opposite. Like I go into like these manic stages where I'm like cleaning, I'm talking to everybody and stuff like that. People think that when I get quiet, that there's something going on with me. And lots of times it's the complete opposite. Like I'm actually a lot quieter than people give me credit for.
Isolation is when I'm at my most peaceful.
Sleep.
If there's something wrong.
Sleep makes me happy. If I'm going through something, I guarantee you I'm sleeping more.
But I'm also a meditation Negro, so.
A what?
A meditation.
A meditation. For some reason, I thought I heard you say meta patient. I was like, does that mean you be on Facebook nonstop? Like, I'm confused.
Meditation is crazy.
This nigga on the porch right now meditating in some like lawn chair, like the green photo button, the lawn chair.
Meditation is so hard for me because I can't turn my brain off. Like I'll be in there meditating and I'll say the same thing, and then my mind will go to something else. Even praying is tough. Like I'll be listening to a prayer, and then somehow I'll think of something really unhinged that I shouldn't be thinking about.
I don't do prayer because then next thing you know, I'm asking God dang the Lord for a polygamy. I'm like, yo, send some bitches is cool with lots of bitches. And then I'm like, that's not. I'm pretty sure that's not what he's there for if he's up there. But I mean, these are the kind of things I ask for as a scumbag.
Why are you asking God for this? What
you don't think? Listen. If he's out there, you don't think he ain't got the dial in on all the single hoes? Doesn't he know everybody?
Don't he know everybody?
Tap a nigga in, y'all. Listen, unless we're changing the meaning of omniscient and omnipotent, are we changing the omnis? If we're not, then yeah, tap me in, big guy.
God did not say asking you shall receive for Tori. That did not.
Hey, I'm just saying. There's a reason why I let the universe work how it will. Because I don't expect nothing from the universe. It's moving on its own. But see, once you put a mind behind it, God damn it, now I gotta wonder.
No, you're not wrong.
Yo, hitting God up for what a hoes that is crazy.
Hey. Like I said, this nigga's omniscient, isn't he? He knows where all the hoes are. He knows exactly how freaky they are too.
But that still goes against like his principles according to the book.
I thought we were supposed to procreate.
You ain't trying to procreate.
No, I'm not. I'm a prophylactic prophet. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm
not a prophylactic prophet.
Yeah, buddy. You know I'm a fan of alliteration.
You know good and well you ain't trying to procreate.
Definitely.
Which is why he won't give you none of them hoes. He said you're not about to waste away the women that are supposed to bring life to the earth.
I'm helping them get the tension out of their system so they can get back out there and help you.
You need to be a Muslim, nigga, if you asking for that. What you talking about?
Catch me at the mosque. Catch me at the mosque on Friday with my
religion
ready to rock. If that. No, because I'm not rocking with that. Because I'm not trying to have a whole bunch of virgins when I die. You ain't finna just send me up there with a bunch of bitches that don't know nothing. That's crazy.
Tori, you can teach all that.
I don't want to be. I ain't trying to do all that. You need to come with some sort of game on your own already. Goddamn it,
Tori, you got infinity the rest of the eternity to teach people.
Listen, I still need to come with a game plan. Goddamn it.
So you got a million years.
I need them to listen. I need them to have an idea of where their boundaries are, so I'm not getting kicked out of heaven for some crazy shit.
So you need to know ahead of time. Like, where are the
Yeah.
ground rules?
Damn, maybe I should just go to hell. I know Satan got bad bitches down there. I ain't even gonna lie. I know it. The hose is probably down there. I'll let y'all know.
No,
Catch me.
I
Catch,
don't know. I
catch
don't
me on the
know.
Ouija board past post mortem. There we go.
Yo, shout
I'll let
out.
y'all know whether
Like, you
whether
just want your summer home in hell, like be
yeah.
in heaven, and then like, okay, I'm going on vacation.
I don't know.
You
Listen,
just
it
drop
depends
down.
on how hell's rocking. Because
It's too hot.
maybe me and Satan could be cool. I could get him to turn on the AC or something. It's a
It's
whole
too
different
hot.
ball game if the AC comes on.
Living in Florida in the summer told me that I definitely do not want to go to hell.
I don't know. Well, you got to think if like the Buddhists are right, then hell's super cold. So maybe you might want the heat.
So I wonder. So do you go to the heaven or hell that you believe in? So
Ooh,
like,
that's
if you're,
that's the ultimate question.
that's the ultimate question. Like,
What would
and then if you're an atheist,
what would Tory
Yeah.
Hell be? Oh,
then
Tory,
what?
I know what Tory Hell be. It'd be like drugs right there, but he can't never smoke.
I was gonna say it'd be like a sober living house or some shit. They just throw me in a sober living
No,
house.
it would be like censored corn.
Oh, that's nasty work.
No, Tory would
That's
be like
disgusting.
it'd be drugs on the table, and he'll always reach for them,
Just
and he can
standing
never.
there naked, and then it's like covered.
Yeah, I was gonna say just blurred out. Just
I
a
think
bunch of
Tory
blurred
rather have.
nipples and
I think Tory rather
smoothies.
have that. Tory, I think you rather have that than just an unlimited amount of drugs that you can never smoke just in front of you.
I think it's a tie. I think it's both.
I was gonna say it'd be hard. I'd have to befriend the demons quickly, so we got to be like, could y'all just let me? Come on now.
Like, come on, just slide a little
Because
something
at the
around
same
here.
time, I'd be like, just send me one of the ugly bitches and have them bring a little platter with them. Bring me a little goddamn. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Help a brother out. I can
Like
help you on
that
your.
charcuterie board.
I was gonna say the debauchery board.
The debauchery board was
Just slide that shit
funny.
on in. Make sure you leave the condoms on it though. I know it's hell, but still, I feel like the STDs.
Nah, because hell ain't gonna have no condoms.
No, that's crazy.
Hell will not have condoms, I guarantee you.
You can always burn to her.
Yeah, think about it
Ooh,
though.
literally, always
The
burning.
STIs are probably crazy in hell.
You will literally always be burning. That's
Niggas getting the
nasty.
super clap is crazy.
Not
Demonic,
the super clap.
the monoria.
Tory,
End up
Tory,
with the monoria. They
Tory,
ain't got no shot for that.
Tory. The only wrestling you could ever watch would be AEW. Tony Khan.
Oh, that would be hell.
Tony
That
Khan
would be hell.
you turn the challenge to Tony Khan booking for the more.
Oh God, I can't do that. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I couldn't rock with that.
Tory trying to find one piece that ain't on just Tony Khan.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Listen, one of my greatest fears is kicking the bucket before the payoff. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't fear too many things, but kicking the bucket before the end of One Piece is one of them.
You better chill out on them key bumps then.
I'm well regulated.
Ebony, Tory Hell
He's
is
good at dosing.
No, all
Tory,
my doctors know about my outside activities. You got to be honest with doctors
Ebony,
at the end of the day.
Ebony, watch this. Ebony, watch this. Tory, your hell will be older just giving up One Piece so Tony Khan can write through it.
God fucking listen.
I believe that Kami would go find Oda and do something.
Oh, nigga gonna tell me the ending. I got you cornered with the rifle and the goddamn. Who knows? You go.
Tony Khan,
Fuck
right?
that. I catch that. Look, I don't like flying, but I catch that flight to goddamn Daly's place and beat that nigga's ass.
Hey.
Tory hate Tony Khan. It's funny.
I know he does, but show up to Daly's place. That means we can party together.
I won't step foot in that fucking. Listen, the worst wrestling in the world came out of there. Cold day in hell before I step foot in that place.
It Daly's plays at all? They do more than wrestling. Like, do you know I saw Mary J. Blige there?
Listen, the scars run too deep. Okay.
Crazy.
I have a PTSD episode about the first Anarchy in the Arena. It was done after that. Some niggas almost killed Matt Hardy in the hallways of Daly's place. I'll never forget.
Wait, they did?
Nigga fell off a forklift, cracked his head.
I did not know about that. That's crazy.
He also popped out of the ice machine too. So I mean, take that as you will.
Tori, we got a lot to talk about next week. Great show today. Eminem dropping next week, apparently.
Oh Lord.
His last album ever. So apparently.
Rippity rappity. I hope you lyrical.
I'm ready.
Niggas are ready.
So
I'm ready.
Next week episode might be about Eminem or the next week. So one of them episodes will be about Eminem.
Is he? What's the over under? Is he gonna diss? Is he gonna diss somebody? Is Ja Rule gonna catch the 1500th stray?
Ja Rule.
If it's his last album, I feel like he gonna try and hit as many people as possible.
Is he gonna actually diss Joe Budden?
That would be hilarious.
Listen. Joe Budden already showed us the fucking. He tried. He tried, yo. But Joe Budden couldn't recover after he got dissed by the bass god, yo. Never forget, Lil B put Joe Budden down.
Lil B really did.
Lil B wasn't playing. Nigga, button up? Come on. It was done. Button up. He turned that nigga into a piece of loungewear.
Shout out to the YouTube audience. Like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. All that waifu views. Speaking of waifu views, the lovely.
Speaking of waifu views, was that your segue to me?
That was the segue.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Waifu views. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm Ebony Moonbeam. You can find me at Ebony_Moonbeam on all social media platforms. I'm a player. I'm the creator of Anime for Dummies, where I drop a bunch of anime knowledge for you guys. And I am also a member of the Blurred Cartel. You can find me at the Blurred Cartel's Roundtable on Wednesdays. And you can also find me on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, where I am 1/3 of the podcast host of Waifu Views, which is a female blur-led podcast. This week we will be doing a mental health episode, as it is Mental Health Awareness Month. We'll be covering the anime movie Perfect Blue and discussing how mental health is portrayed in anime and media. So be sure to check that out. You can follow us all at Waifu Views on all social media platforms, as well as myself, Ebony Moonbeam, at Ebony_Moonbeam on all social media platforms as well.
Look, it was at the bottom of the screen right when you said it. Look at it. Hey, look, it's me.
It's you.
Over on that media, I'll be that new GGC Mafia. All that's me. And the star of the show.
You already know. You can find me at AfroComedy765 on all platforms. Of course, you can also catch me on the Blurred Cartel on Wednesdays on the Roundtable, as well as on Fridays on Friday Night where me and the amazing Spider Cam talk about wrestling. Of course, you can catch me here over on 99 Media B and over on 99 Scumbag, having casual conversations with these lovely people. You guys know the vibe. Something flagrant, something inflammatory.
And as y'all have seen on this episode, y'all got one question that y'all ask, and it's...
Who are these niggas?
Like the touch of velvet, Afro Kanye's voice, you can't forget. Sultry vibes, making bodies sway, R&B in the spotlight. Come what may, midnight groove, let the music play. Afro Kanye.